I want to briefly talk about forming habits. I know some of you might have heard of the book Atomic Habits. I actually haven't started reading it yet. Well, besides just a couple pages in the intro. But I have heard a few recaps of the book on YouTube. And the whole 1% for 365 days thing was popularized by that book. Of course, he's not the first person to talk about the power of compounding, but 1% is a pretty nice model to follow. Besides that book, I've actually been talking to a therapist for the past few months. At first to deal with anxiety, which he really helped me with, but after that I raised some other concerns regarding my daily habits, improving my routine, and also breaking bad habits, mostly related to eating or gaming. The most helpful and what I believe to be an overpowered strategy for forming habits is what I call a push the button moment. Usually when we want to change our habits, we want them to be like a very big change, an important change, and one that might take a lot of effort. It can be emotionally draining, even just thinking about the daunting task ahead. Rather than wanting to make a huge change, my therapist told me to look for very small actions with a very low barrier of willpower. Something that basically takes zero effort to do, but is still a break from your usual pattern. Patterns are built into our muscle memory. There are things we don't even think about, like walking or breathing. If, as children, we make a mistake walking or breathing, it takes conscious effort and a lot of concentration to correct. So too with daily habits, it takes conscious effort to correct. Therefore, to reduce the stress of the correction, we should break the pattern with things that take little to no effort to do. For me personally, I get up in the morning and I need to start my live stream. Streaming on Twitch gives me company with the viewers. I get a little bit of subscription revenue, and honestly, even if there's only one or two people watching me, I really value that company. And as long as there are people with me and I feel like I'm being watched, I'm a little bit better accountable for myself, and I can get a lot of work done. I do artwork while on Twitch, so that's where the majority of my home productivity goes. There are mornings where I can barely bring myself to even turn the stream on, and I feel like doing something else. It was difficult to explain to my therapist why, but when we got down to it, he said, "What's the thing that starts the pattern?" And I told him it's literally just when I push the button to start the stream. He told me you don't even have to stream for 1 or 2 minutes, just push the button and see where that takes you. And I thought it was genius because it allowed me to release myself from the stress of having to think about all the things I needed to do, and instead just take it from moment to moment. After I do one thing, what's the next thing I should do? It was actually quite life changing, and I was able to create good habits right away after realizing that. So ever since then, I've been looking for more push the button moments in life. What are really tiny things I could do that break my usual pattern and allow me to build momentum of good habits from that pattern break? Even the first thing I do in the morning, instead of opening up my phone, I want to wiggle my toes. And that may sound random, but it gets my body moving. After I wiggle my toes, I move my feet. After I move my feet, I move my legs, and then I whip my legs out of bed and get up. Even something like wiggling my toes is going to really drastically improve the quality of the rest of my day. To me, so far, until I read the rest of the book, that's what habit building is all about.